Adam Schiff, Democrat from California. Congressman, first I'd like to get you to respond to the Congressman, your colleague there, on a number of things. First of all, on the question of Syrian refugees, your response.
Well, my response is it's always been the proud tradition of this country to provide a haven for people who are fleeing persecution. And I don't think we should have a knee-jerk reaction that we're going to stop taking any refugees whatsoever. We have to do the very best we can to vet these people. But I don't think that we want to turn our back on the worst refugee crisis since World War II. So I think we have an ethical obligation, and I also think it's in the proudest traditions of our country.
As to the other question here about the authorization of use of military force, why has Congress not actually, 15 months into the campaign against ISIS, actually passed anything?
Well, Chris, as you know, I've been pushing this issue for over a year now with amendments on the House floor and letters to our leadership. It's a terrible abdication of congressional responsibility. I think initially there was a confluence of interest between the executive not feeling that it needed one and Congress not wanting to have a vote on one. Ultimately, the administration did send us the proposed AUMF, which the Speaker rejected. But instead of rejecting it and amending it and producing something else, the Speaker merely threw up his hands and said, we're not going to even have a debate or a vote on this. At a time when we are sending special operators very much in harm's way and already have troops in Iraq, I think it is completely irresponsible. And we will rue the day that we did this, because it means Congress is taking itself out of the system of checks and balances when it comes to the executive's power to make war.
Congressman, are you satisfied that the White House does, in fact, have an achievable strategy in terms of defeating ISIS?
The administration does have a strategy to try to squeeze ISIS territorially, to squeeze its finances, to go after its social media campaign. But I am concerned, Chris, that the timetable is too long, that ISIS will be allowed to maintain its space in Iraq and Syria from which it can plan and plot and resource attacks against Europe and the United States. So I think we have to do something to change the dynamic on the ground. One of the things I would like to see the administration re-examine, and that is the possibility of establishing a buffer zone or a safe zone to test the Turks who have been advocating this, whether they're willing to put Turkish troops within that zone across the Syrian border to protect the zone if we protect it from the air. That kind of a partnership with Turkey and the Gulf countries may be enough to start to change the dynamic on the ground, but something has to shrink ISIS space more quickly than we've been able to do, or we're at significant risk of attacks like we saw in Paris.
All right, Congressman Adam Schiff, thank you for joining me.